Hello Twitch, hello YouTube, this is Captain Nav. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this new live stream. Today on the Aerosoft Airbus A319 from Paris to Edinburgh on the EasyJet flight 6954. So we are in, parked opposite Terminal 2D in Paris. It's above kind of misty morning over there. And we are cold and dark, so we'll jump in the flight deck and get the aircraft ready. We'll switch on the batteries. Here they are, the two batteries. Put the external power on. The emergency exit lights can go to the arm position now. And what else? The seat belts, we are gonna be all fueled up so they can all go to on and on, and the navigation lights can come on. That's pretty much it for the overhead at this time. Now we'll come down. Get the lights on the displays. Here we are. And on the ECAM as well there. Very good. Cool. That's pretty much it at this stage. The radios can come on, and the rest, parking brake as well. And the rest we'll look at it later on. We'll look at the FMC, start the FMC preparation, and we'll start boarding as well with GSX. So we'll go to init. It's LFPG Echo Golf Papa Hotel 01. We're bringing back some of the rugby supporters. Alternate. It's Glasgow Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot. Open aft cargo doors. Okay. Oh yeah, that's for the suitcases. Okay, no bother. Aft left door. Okay, here we are. Flight number EZY6954.
Hi, morning. Hi, morning.
Cost index, I think I use about 38. Cruise level will be 360. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, we got the reset RS to nav. I'll get that done now so that we get rid of the message. Here we are. Back down on the FMC. That's done. Then on the flight plan, we got LFPG. Departure is gonna be from runway 09 right. And it's the Atrex 1 Golf. There's no transition. We can insert that. We'll check the routing. It's not very difficult. Hey, Red Arrow Pilot. Yes, I am indeed. Papa Golf 092. Wrong chart. Yeah, EasyJet are quite cool. I quite like them as well. I've not flown I've not flown on EasyJet for quite a long time actually, but Boarding completed. Baggage loading in progress still. Departure is 209 right. Papa Golf 092 and Atrex. Okay, so it's all in there. Cool. No issues there. And for Edinburgh, we already set the arrival. I think it's gonna be ILS 06. That's the Tweed 3 Alpha. And is there a VIA? No VIA, I think. Okay, I will just insert that. Have a look at the bottom. Aleph, Apple, Abevin, Piputo, Rev, Eskdo, Tartan, Tweed, and the arrival. Yeah, I'll work out something. That's good. Close the doors. Okay. Close. Close. And close. So all the doors should be closed. Then flaps 1, and it's giving us the speeds. Okay. Thrust reduction is gonna be 3392. No, that doesn't change, sorry. It's the acceleration every time I get mixed up there. So 3392. And the engine acceleration, I mean, we can leave it, we're not gonna have an engine failure, so it's alright. I'm not sure about the audio. The audio should be as is normally, but maybe it's not today. I don't know. So let's go on the overhead, see if I can remember how to do that. This panel is good. All the fuel pumps come on. This is good. We're gonna start the APU. Oh, yeah, here it is. Master switch, start APU. Okay. That's good up there, and all this I think will do the trick for the moment. Yep, that should do. And then we'll move down. We'll take the auto brake max. It's for takeoff. Here on the pedestal. Oops, sorry. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be 0.8 for the trim. The radio. One, 2, 2, 8. And here 2000. The cockpit preparation should be done. Hold on. Up here, and the QNH is set. We'll blank this one. This one is blanked, and we're going initially to my mouse is playing up a little bit. We go up to level 100. Set.
Cockpit preparation checklist.
Here we are.
Batteries,
Both on.
electrical power,
APU on.
navigation lights,
On.
engine master,
Both off.
engine mode selector,
Checked normal.
landing gear lever,
Checked.
parking brake,
On.
flaps,
Checked position.
speed brake lever,
Checked retracted.
thrust levers,
Idle.
transponder mode,
Checked standby.
radio control panel,
On.
ECAM recall,
Checked.
anti-skid,
On.
flight director,
On.
emergency lights,
Checked and armed.
No smoking signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Probe window heat.
Auto.
Air condition.
Checked.
Ventilation panel.
Is checked.
Electric panel.
Checked.
Fuel pumps.
On.
Hydraulics.
Is checked.
Accu-brake pressure.
Checked.
Ground proximity warning system.
On.
Electronic flight control system.
On.
Adheres.
Checked.
Emergency equipment.
Is checked.
Checklist complete.
Very good. Okay.
Before start checklist.
Oh no, before start checklist. No, I'm not ready yet, mate.
Windows and doors.
Where's
Closed
the
and
beacon?
locked.
APU.
APU on.
APU bleed.
Set on.
External power.
Disconnected and off.
Cabin signs.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Bearer reference.
Checked. 1021.
1021. Check. Beacon lights.
On.
Checklist complete.
So you get a little bit of out of sync between the video and the audio, yeah. To fly on the Aerosoft, I need to kind of lower the settings for the stream a little bit. I hope the stream is okay so far.
Departure check completed. Bypass bin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brakes
Commencing
released.
push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Yeah, JSX needs to sort this out. There's no reason not to start the engines when the weather is favorable to icing conditions, unless the apron is very slippery or something. I don't know, but I've never come across having to wait in icing conditions. Anyway, let's get the engines going. Start number 2.
Starting engine 2.
Engine 2 is stabilized.
Okay, I'll start number 1.
Starting number 1.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brakes are set.
You can hear the PTU. Quite like that. Anyways.
Unlocking gear.
Engine 1 is stabilized.
Okay, engine 1 is good.
Bypass bin removed.
So this can go off. This will come off automatically, I think. It's on the auto position. This comes back to normal. We arm the speed brake, some flaps.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Okay, thank you very much. What else on the checklist on the air?
After start checklist.
Here we are.
Engine mode selector.
Check normal.
APU bleed.
Off.
APU master.
Off.
Ground spoilers.
Checked and armed.
Rudder trim.
Checked 0.
Pitch trim.
Checked.
Flight controls.
Oh, here we are. So lateral first.
Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Check. Flaps.
Flaps 1.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Beacon status.
Checked.
Beacon door page.
Checked.
Hand signal.
Received.
Checklist complete.
Alright, I think we are ready. Let's go. Let's go to Edinburgh. Alright, so let me have a look at the EFB. We'll come off onto Echo, I believe. Otherwise, yeah, we'll go all the way onto, yeah, we'll go straight ahead onto Golf.
Taxiing checklist.
No slide.
Set on.
Brake check.
Pedal pressed. Checked 0.
Check. Auto brakes.
Max.
Takeoff data.
Reviewed.
FCU.
Checked.
Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. TO config.
Checked no blue.
Checklist complete.
And then once we get onto Golf, will be a right turn onto Foxtrot. So here is Golf. So far so good. And then on to Foxtrot. Sorry, do you think the order in which the engines are started is a remnant from the time before APU? Yeah, possibly. Oh, this is quite cool with the Concorde there outside. Here is nice. Yeah, possibly is a remnant of the. You know, things kind of tend to stay in aviation. Things tend to stay quite set in stone, so I wouldn't be surprised it's a remnant. Here's the runway, 09 right. And I taxi a little bit like a cowboy as well. Taking the turns at more than 20 knots, even 10 knots. Alright, that's the runway.
Flight attendants, seats for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
Brake fans.
Off.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
TCAS.
Approaching.
TARA,
09
tilt above.
Right.
Exterior lights.
Set on.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Checklist complete.
Hey, thank you very much for the follow,
On runway.
John
09
PT. Welcome
right.
to the stream, sir. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Right, 09 right. That is 09 right. So on Airbus, which is really alien to me, but hey, that's the way it works. You work with detent, so you put the detent on flex. So let's see. 1, 2.
Takeoff. Man, flex, SRS and runway.
Check.
That's it. Happy days. That's the correct detent.
Power set.
It's looking good.
100 knots.
Checked.
Speed 1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Navigation.
Check.
I still can't believe how quickly it accelerates on the ground. It's amazing.
Gears up. Lights off.
Okay,
Climb thrust.
climb thrust now at 1500 feet AGL. Whoa. Why is it going into the red? Ah, this
Flap
is.
0.
Speed check. Flap 0.
Please disregard this.
The after takeoff checklist.
Engine
Whoa.
mode selector.
Check
Is it
normal.
turbulence or what's
Spoilers.
going on? Right.
Disarmed.
Flaps.
Autopilot on. Tracted.
Landing gear.
Gear up. Lights off.
Exterior lights.
Set off.
Tax.
Yeah, I
on.
just rolled away and
Off.
climbed
TCAS.
away.
Checked.
Altimeter.
Standard.
Checklist complete.
Anyway, yeah, it's climbing like a rocket. We go all the way to 360. I don't even know if I've set that up actually. Did I? Climb to cruise level. Yeah, that's my intention. Climb 360. Yeah. Okay, cool. Here we are. I'll take the speed to keep 250 knots in that turn before I accelerate above fly level 100, and then we'll accelerate.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Lights off.
Off.
Good. So now to give the speed back to the aircraft, we push the button back towards the panel and the speed blanks, and the aircraft is now going to accelerate to the managed speed, which I believe is 294 knots, and then decimal 77. That's it, and we are now on our merry way. That's a very good question, Aurel TW. Basically, you're right. Some countries nowadays have decided to kind of get rid of the airway system. So they've got what they call free routing airspace, where they still have the waypoints, but basically most of the time you can fly plan from the entry into the airspace, into the FIR, or from the entry to the exit directly, without following any airways. Oops, I was looking at the speed there. I was doing something funny there. Whoa. Yeah, so I know that a lot of countries now in Europe are going in that direction. Ireland, I think, are taking that road. Austria, I think, yeah, Switzerland, yeah, a lot of, I think, Hungary and I mean, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, there are certainly like a few countries using now like free routing airspace, which is okay, I guess. Kind of gets rid of all the airways and of all the constraints. I guess like airways are there to kind of fluidify, if you want, like, you know, kind of organize the flow of traffic, and a lot of that flow organization has to do with no, it does exist, giant unicorn in some countries, but yeah, always kind of organize the flow of traffic so that traffic kind of stays outside of military airspace, for example, and a lot of countries, like, you know, over the UK or over France and places like that, there's a lot of military airspace, so the airways kind of keep the flow of civilian traffic away from these military or restricted areas, and I've got the feeling that's one of the main reason, you know, because they still have to share the airspace with the military, otherwise it wouldn't be so much of a problem. As soon as the military areas are no longer active, for example at night or at the weekend, very often you get a lot of directs in places like the UK or France, and they are much more willing to you know, to give you these directs, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's ATC's interest to you know, to expedite the flow of traffic. I am indeed, yes. Yeah, there's I mean, I wouldn't be able really to say which countries are like, you know, have now implemented free route airspace. I know it's developing, above all kind of along the kind of eastern side of Europe. Places like France and the UK, and I think Portugal's got free route airspace above flight level 245. It's open, but yeah, countries like France, the UK, Germany, and places like that, they're still like kind of following the airways. As I said, I guess due to the military activity as well. But yeah, airways basically are like you know, roads and motorways, you know, on the ground. They've got like a code or like a reference number, a bit like you know, roads and motorways, and basically try to channel the flow of traffic from A to B. So it's a fairly good system. It's a little bit complicated maybe to start with when you're not really familiar with the way they work, but it's a good system. I think today actually on this route, on the let's have a look at the flight plan. This airway there, the Upper Lima 613, as you can see in white between all the waypoints there. I think this airway is a one-way airway, and yeah, basically I think it's just because maybe sometimes they want to be able to use the non-standard flight level on that airway, so they kind of keep that. It's a very busy airway, so they don't want to have traffic getting in opposite directions. So that's my understanding. I mean, I'm not into air traffic control or anything, but that's my understanding, that they want to keep the airway in one direction to avoid any opposite direction traffic. And if, for example, it's an airway like we're gonna use now, like in using even flight level numbers, where they can also use odd numbers and kind of stack the traffic that way. After that, once you know that particular section of airspace doesn't get so busy anymore, then they can have like two-way traffic again. But yeah, there's a little bit the same airway, if I remember well, coming down from the north of England towards kind of southwest of London. There's there as well, kind of following the west coast, one-way airway as well. You have to look at the charts and to see the the legend on the charts to see if the airways is a one-way or two-way airways. Normally there is two-way airways, but some of them are only one-way. As I said, I guess because of the amount of traffic going into that direction, and they want to kind of channel the traffic a certain way. But yeah, it's interesting. In the States, they've got the what they call the HAR. I think it's the high altitude redesign, and there's something else as well. The North American route system, the NRS, I think it's called, where basically you can above a certain level you can fly plan direct routings between VORs and stuff. And I think the high altitude redesign as well, it's those fictitious waypoints, which are made up of letters and numbers, to do with, it's quite complicated, but yeah, the states above like certain levels and in certain areas, they do allow direct routings like this, even on the planning stage. So it's fairly good. We're gonna cross the channel fairly soon. It's very clear today. Yeah, there's a lot of direct VORs and waypoints. If you look at some of the flight plans from going into the States, you see a lot of direct from VOR to VOR. Sometimes there's a few airways thrown in, just for in a little bit of to mix things up a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of directs. As I said, my understanding of it is due to airspace constraints, basically, and as I said, like for example in the UK or in France, like because the airspace is shared with the military, and so the airways kind of direct the flow of traffic around these military or restricted areas. But as soon as these areas like disappear, then thank you very much for the follow, Mr. Marsroom. Thank you very much. Yeah, once these areas are no longer active, then ATC will be more than happy to give you direct. So, like at the moment we are like more or less right over the channel. You'll be already handed over to UK air traffic control. Although you're not in UK airspace yet, but they always kind of hand you over a little bit early. And I guess if it was like a Sunday and no much traffic and then you will probably get like a direct all the way up to the boundary with Scottish control or whatever. They wouldn't really bother keeping you on the airways, because at the end of the day, like the airways. Anyway, the way they are laid out, they are fairly fairly straight, fairly direct. Sometimes there's a few turns, but there's no big deal. So ATC can still organize the flow of traffic by giving you directs, because the direct kind of still keeps you in the good direction. So anyway, you get the drift. Alright, Edinburgh, it's gonna be at 12:01 with 2.5. That's what I was anticipating, so that's good. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, the PPL exam, as long as you know, you were given, like, you know, sample questions to kind of study, and then you should be fine. If you know what to expect, then it should be good. If you do the PPL in the UK, I remember there was a book at the time I did it, but that was, how long ago? That was like 15 years ago almost. There was a book called the PPL Confuser, and this was a good book, because it was you know, it was the questions basically you had at the exam are very close to what you get at the exam. But I don't know if that book still exists. I think actually that book was a little bit like it was not supposed to be there, you know, it was not supposed to be really published. It was if I remember well, inside it was kind of like written in, well, obviously all the questions and the answers and stuff, that was all written in English, but on the like on the first page, you know, where sometimes it talks about the publisher and where the book was printed and stuff, it was all written in Thai or in Chinese or something, so it was a little bit of not very clear as to where the book was coming from, but yeah, the flying school was selling the book, so I guess. And don't get me wrong as well, for like for the ATPL exams as well, most of the flying school as well either have built up a database of questions, or from, I don't know where from, to tell the truth, either from feedback from previous students, or otherwise they've got access themselves to some of the questions. But yeah, the flying schools have now, like, you know, they've got like quite a big database of questions, and these questions are the questions you get at the exam, you know, most of the time, or they are very close to what you get at the exam. So and you couldn't really do without these database these questions databases, because like for the ATPL exams, you've got 14 exams. There's a lot of theory to know, and yeah, you wouldn't be able to do the exam without having these questions. On top of that, those questions very often is a matter of reading the question and being very careful in the way you answer the questions. It's not so much about knowledge, but it's about, like, you know, reading the question, and sometimes it's a bit like a psychometric test rather than, because they'll say, like, I don't know, what's our speed now, you know? Is it decimal 782? Is it decimal 728? Or is it decimal like 872? So they will, for example, in the answers, they will mix the numbers, just to see basically if you can read properly, you know. That's maybe a simplified way of putting it across, but that's what some of those questions are, you know. They mix up some numbers, or the way, like, you know, the sentence is written, by maybe sometimes using double negatives or something, and just to confuse people. And yeah, at the end of the day, you know, it's well, we've got to realize that this is like this is basically like a business, you know, and the flight schools need they basically need the students to pass to you know, to then first of all, like, be known as being like good schools, and you know, training a lot of pilots, and then they need, like, you know, pilots, you know, to pass their PPLs and CPLs as well, to kind of like feed the industry, you know. Once you've got your PPL, you're gonna rent an aircraft, you're gonna, you know, buy whatever equipment, or you're gonna pay your landing fees whenever you go and do a flight to any destination or something. So it kind of feeds in the industry. So if it was too difficult, I mean, the industry would be you know, brought to its knees. So they've got to make it accessible. You've got to put in a bit of work, obviously, and like, you know, studying the questions actually would kind of help you you know, understand a few things and stuff. So that it's not so negative. But they've got to make it accessible. If it was too difficult, and if you only had to learn, like, you know, in books, and it was all very abstract, I mean, nobody would do it, and the industry would kind of die down a little bit. I will always remember, like, first time I flew around London. The first thing they say on the radio, well, it's not really air traffic control. It was on London information, because we kind of stayed quite far away from London, but still. And London information, the first thing they were saying was remain clear of controlled airspace. You know, that was the first thing. Because, like, obviously, like around London with Heathrow and Gatwick and Stansted. Luton as well a little bit, but and the whole kind of London TMA, that was the first thing from London information, was remain clear of controlled airspace. Don't get into controlled airspace as a VFR, you know, traffic. And that will always stuck to my mind, you know. That was the first kind of contact. Remain clear of controlled airspace. Which is fair enough, you know. They've got a lot of traffic to deal with around London, so they don't want little Piper Cherokee or Cessnas, like, you know, to wander around. I see. Yeah, there's a unique way to get out of Paris as well now. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, in a sense, I quite like flying VFR into these big airports. Not that you can fly VFR into the likes of like Charles de Gaulle, or like London Heathrow, or Gatwick, or even Stansted, but you can certainly try to fly VFR, like we're going up to Edinburgh. If it was not for the landing fees, you would possibly be able to land there, or like the alternator for the flight today is Glasgow. You'll be able also to land into Glasgow on the VFR flight. And there's always kind of, you know, lanes to get in. You don't just like fly in, you know, randomly, you know. You've got like lanes to follow to get in, to kind of fit in with the yeah, IFR traffic, and it's all very interesting. Even to transit the airspace around one of those major airports as VFR traffic, it would be a little bit easier to do it than to land at the airport itself, because, well, to land at these big airports, basically the deterrent is the landing fee. The landing fee is gonna be horrendous, you know. You're gonna pay, I don't know, in the UK you're gonna pay more than £100 just to land the aircraft, so people wouldn't really bother going to these big airports. Plus, you would be possibly put on hold as well for God knows how long, depending on the traffic. Some of the, what I would call like regional airports in the UK, maybe you wouldn't have to wait for so long, but like the main airports, you would never get in, basically. So but yeah, transiting the airspace is easier, and it's more doable if you want. But still, you would need to follow like special VFR lanes, and you know, you need to get permission to enter control airspace and follow certain routings and things like that. It's all very specific. I remember in particular one place having to transit over the airport, and basically they wouldn't let you transit the airspace around the airport, and like basically fly over the runway with like traffic coming on final. So you had to kind of wait a little bit, kind of, if let's say we take like runway 2709, you've got like IFR traffic coming down on runway 27, and you're coming from the north, so kind of having to stay north of the airport, spot the traffic on final runway 27, and like report the traffic in sight, and then cross actually behind the traffic which was on final, so kind of navigate around that traffic and cross behind the traffic, because they wouldn't let you, like, you know, fly over the runway when there's a guy on final as well, in case that guy goes around. So you've got to kind of, you know, navigate around and kind of go behind. So it's yeah, it is still fairly complex. No, I don't fly general aviation anymore. It's a shame, but yeah, it's not really possible anymore. So yeah, it's all lapsed. But it is, in a sense, it is real flying in a sense, you know. It's totally different from like operating these large aircraft. Obviously, this is maybe more exciting flying if you want, and it's more kind of, but it's a bit like it's a bit like driving a bus, you know. Whereas like flying on a Piper Cherokee or a Cessna 172, and it's a bit like driving, you know, your car, or like it's like rally driving, or you know, or driving like your 4x4 in the sand dunes or something, you know. It's much more exciting and much more like hands-on, you know. Flying these large passenger aircraft is, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, flying a bus. Yeah, it's you're right to actually, you know, stick to general aviation. I think, like, I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, in inverted comma, like a commercial, but on the stream and social media and stuff, there's obviously more of an interest for like airliners, but I sometimes like fly myself, like, you know, just on the default Cessna aircraft in the simulator here, and just kind of fly around. The scenery is usually fairly good. You can still kind of find the roads, the rivers, the lakes, the terrain, some of the hills, the mountains and stuff. That, you know, it's the kind of real, well, more or less the real shape. So it's fairly good to kind of you know, fly VFR and kind of fly from spot to spot. And if you want to do like a proper VFR navigation, you can try to play around as well. It's fairly good. Maybe one day I'll try here on the stream to do something like that. As I said, it's maybe not as popular as you know, flying airliners from A to B, but it is good fun. I like it personally. I think it's great. Maybe one day. There's good software to fly VFR actually, which is Plan 3G or Plan G3 or whatever it's called, something like that. It's a good thing if you've got like, in particular, if you've got like a second computer. Okay, I need to get XP11. Wow, there's a lot of things I need to get, man. Hey, thank you very much for the follow. Miglush, thank you very much. Good luck with your exam. Otherwise, yeah, I was not familiar with the little nav map. I'll have a look at what it is. With Plan G, what I like is that I've got it on my second kind of laptop, and you can using Sim Connect, you can basically have some sort of like moving map with Plan G, which is good on the other computer. So you fly on one monitor, and then you've got the Plan G on the second screen, which is quite nice because you see the flight, you know, as it happens.